Previously on Saving Throw Society. The past came screaming back to haunt the party. In a horrifying flashback, the true cruelty of the Frenchman was revealed as he forced Cacophony to torture his own daughter. But even in the middle of an unimaginable pain, she refused to break, and for the first time in what felt like forever, Cacophony felt something shift within them, a crack in the prison of the vessel that had held them captive for so long, a fleeting moment of freedom. Back in the present, the party struggled through the aftermath of Feindar's funeral. Grief weighed heavily on everyone, though each member carried it differently. Some turned to drink and distraction, gathering together in Al's quarters in an attempt to laugh, relax, and forget, even if only for a little while. Chomp found himself pulled into a rowdy wrestling match with Al's sister as the group tried desperately to reclaim some sense of normalcy. But Al had other plans, and while the others celebrated, he went to confront his father. Inside Thelorin's quarters, years of distance, resentment, and unspoken pain finally surfaced. Then, through the deceptively simple trick involving shared teacup, everything changed. A telepathic bond formed between them, forcing both men to experience each other's suffering firsthand. Al felt slow agony of the wasting sickness, destroying Thelorin from the inside out, while Thelorin witnessed the pain and hardship Al had endured on the material plane. And together they uncovered a terrible possibility that Rhys may have caused the sickness. With time running out, Thelorin sent Ymira to track Rhys down. Ensemble left the safety of their vessel to move faster, desperate to stop him, but before he vanished again and then finally confronted Rhys, the situation spiraled immediately into violence. Rhys nearly killed Ensemble before the rest of the party arrived to intervene. Even together, they couldn't hold him, and as the fight descended into chaos and every attempt to restrain him failed, Rhys made one final move. Using Dimension Door, he escaped directly to Thelorin's side and murdered him before anyone could stop him. But victory meant little to Al as solemnly struck down Rhys. Can grief bring them together or tear them apart completely? What did Rhys take to the grave with him? Is this truly the end of Cacophony's imprisonment? All of this today and more on Saving Throw Society. Welcome to Saving Throw Society as we present Barrier City's New Orleans. Laissez le bon temps rouler and just sit back, relax, and enjoy the jazz. In 1993, minor league baseball returned to the Crescent City with a name that felt effortless: the Zephyrs. A zephyr is a soft wind, fitting for a city shaped by the Mississippi River and the long exhale of Gulf air. They played across the parish line in Metairie at Zephyr Field under a sky that turned pink and gold before setting into that deep Louisiana blue. The Zephyrs weren't flashy, they were steady, dependable, the kind of team you brought kids to on a Tuesday night because tickets were affordable and the fireworks were worth staying up past bedtime. Over the years, they served as an affiliate for several major league clubs, sending players up to the ladder while New Orleans fans watched them grow. But minor league baseball is a strange beast. It isn't just about player development, it's about entertainment. Identity, survival. By the mid-2010s, attendance had dipped. The breeze that once carried the Zephyrs felt. Still, ownership faced a question that echoes in boardrooms across minor league America. How do you make people care again? And the people who truly cared, the fans, they never lost heart. The summer air in Metairie hung thick and sweet the way Louisiana air always does when the sun finally gives up the sky, but the heat refuses to leave. At 13, Zebulon Cold Spring sat perched on the edge of a faded green stadium seat, elbows on the railing, staring out over the bright grass of the diamonded Zephyr Field. It was 2013. The Zephyrs were warming up below the stadium lights. Zeb had been to games before, but never like this. Not with his uncle, Zane. Zane Cold Springs had the easy confidence of a man who never rushed anywhere. His sleeves were rolled halfway up his forearms, and he leaned back in his seat like the stadium had been built specifically for him to lounge in. A cardboard tray of nachos rested on his knee, and 2 sweating cups of soda sat in cup holders between them. Zeb didn't have brothers or sisters, and Zane's kids were grown enough that they had long since stopped thinking minor league baseball was the height of adventure. But for Zeb, nights like this were rare magic. When Uncle Zane invited him somewhere, it meant that the evening would stretch longer than usual. It meant stories. It meant Zeb got treated like he was older than 13. You watching the pitcher? Zane asks you casually toward the mound. Or are you watching the shortstop?
Uncle Zane, you know I've got my eyes on Jumbo Diaz. He's my favorite pitcher.
Zane smiles faintly. That's who everyone watches. Below, the pitcher wound up and fired, and the ball cracked in the catcher's glove. Baseball's not just the pitch. He dips and he grabs a chip with melted cheese. Before he eats it, he says, everything around it, the shortstop cheats a step to the left if the batter favors pulling the ball, and the outfield shifts before the crowd even realizes the batter's dangerous. Half the game is people noticing things other folks miss. So you turn and you watch the game, and the stadium hums, and kids begging for cotton candy, and vendors shouting about cold beer and boiled peanuts. Faint brass echo of recorded jazz riff over the speakers. Fireflies blink lazily around the outfield fence, and somewhere behind them, someone laughs loud enough to echo down the concrete concourse. Zane offers you nachos, and he says, you're good at noticing things. What do you notice right now?
Well, I've been watching Jumbo his entire warm-up, and I noticed that he's got a couple of different sides. When he winks at the catcher, it means he's going to throw his slider. And when he tips his hat just ever so slightly to the left, that means a fastball's coming down, and you know that Jumbo can rip it. He's just like a tactician on the field, man. I mean, it's just a cerebral game.
Look past the pitcher, Zeb. He points at the third base dugout. You see the coach down there? Watch him.
Yeah, I mean, he just looks like an old man, kind of messing around and shouting at people. What's there to see?
Make a perception check.
That is an 8 plus 5, which is a 13.
The coach taps the railing twice with a clipboard and rubs his chin. What did you see?
I mean, it seemed like he had a scratch on his chin, but it didn't seem like he was looking at anybody.
What do you see with the clipboard, Zeb?
He tapped it?
I've been coming here long enough. 2 taps means bunt's coming if the runner reaches first. And sure enough, a batter reaches base 2 minutes later. The next hitter squares up and bunts on the very first pitch.
Man, Uncle Zane, you should coach the Baby Cakes. Holy cow.
Now remember, so this is still the Zephyrs right now. They're not called the Baby Cakes yet.
Well, I have this feeling that they're going to be called the Baby Cakes at some point. You should be coaching the Zephyrs.
So worlds full of signals like that. Most people just don't bother looking. And he looks around. For a while, you sit in comfortable silence. The rhythm of the game keeps going. The crack of the bat, the crowd's rise and groan when a foul ball sails into netting. And you realize something that you wouldn't have been able to name yet. Something you probably don't realize till much later in your life when you piece it all together. Zane doesn't bring you to games to watch baseball. He brings you to games to watch everything else, to watch everyone else. But then came the sugar rush. In 2016, after more than 2 decades, the Zephyr's name was retired, and in its place, they renamed as the Baby Cakes.
See, Uncle Zane, I told you they'd be called the Baby Cakes.
A name pulled straight from Mardi Gras tradition, a tiny plastic baby hidden inside king cake, that one that brings luck and obligation. The rebrand was bold, purple, green, gold splashed across new uniforms, and the mascot was the wide-eyed king cake baby, equal parts festive and faintly terrifying. It was absurd and loud and very unmistakably New Orleans. Some fans were furious. Others were delighted. National media took notice, and that was the point. Minor League Baseball had evolved into something more theatrical, more hyper-local. Teams across the country were leaning into quirky identities. Because in a world of streaming, shrinking attention spans, and big league competition, you don't survive by being quiet. You survive by being unforgettable. During this transitional time, Zane continues taking you to games, and you watch the then Zephyrs as they become the baby cakes. You watch all the details, the influx of fans, the national news on the team. Zane continues to ask you questions as the things that you didn't think to pay attention to, and as a result, your mind and attention grows sharper. We flash forward to the summer between your high school graduation and you going to college. The summer air settles over the Garden District like a damp blanket, heavy with the smell of magnolia and the faint sweetness of night-blooming jasmine. The Cold Springs house creaks softly around you the same way it always had, old wood shifting with the heat, stained glass windows catching the last amber light of the evening. You rock slowly in the same porch chair you sat in as a kid, the one that always groaned at the same point in its arc, the one where you noticed buckles for the first time. Paint peeling along the porch rails, and somewhere in the overgrown garden, a cicada buzzes like a tiny electric motor. Inside the house, voices had finally gone quiet. The argument had burned itself out hours ago. Your father wants you to get a business degree, to learn the trade, to work at the bar. The Cold Springs Family Bar has stood for decades. Brick walls, dark wood, the kind of place where everything and everyone knows your last name before they know your first name. To him, it wasn't just the business, it was your inheritance, your responsibility. And tonight you told them you weren't taking it. You were going to study investigative journalism. The rocking chair creaks again, and then the faint crunch of footsteps on the gravel path outside the porch. You didn't have to look up, you know who it is. House is still complaining the way it used to, Zane says. He steps onto the porch like he always had, slow and hurried, as if time moved a little differently around him. He carried 2 glass bottles of Pop's root beer, the cold sweating down the side. He hands one to you without asking if you want it, and you take it. For a minute, neither of you say anything. The bottle caps hiss as you twist it free. Zane leans against the porch railing, looking out over the wild garden where jasmine vines crawled along the iron fence like they owned the place. Your dad's mad.
Yeah, you know how he gets about the bar. I mean, it's a family tradition, and I get it, but I need to forge my own path. I think I've got a real talent for this.
Kid, he's so mad the neighbors heard it. You can have a talent all you want, but you're gonna have to fight for it.
Well, I think this is something I gotta do, and I realized over the years, a lot of it has come from you, from your inspiration and the things that you've taught me to notice. I mean, I'm naturally inclined to it, but you more than anybody else knows that I have to go down the path I'm gonna go down.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you feel that way, Zeb. I'm glad that you're standing up for yourself, for what you need and what you want. The porch light flicks on behind you, casting warm light. Red and green reflections spill onto wooden boards. Zane takes a slow drink from his bottle. You remember the Zephyrs games? Later, they became the Baby Cakes games.
Absolutely. Actually, I had a question for you.
Shoot.
Do you still remember when we went to the game last summer and there was those ridiculous Baby Cakes patches that you could just sew on anything? And you were like, man, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to pay $10 for this. But then when we walked out, you paid the $10. Do you still have that patch?
I do. Do you remember when they changed their name? The actual moment they changed their name, the news hits everywhere.
Yeah.
Just The New Orleans Zephyrs became the New Orleans Baby Cakes. The city went wild. News stories everywhere. You couldn't walk down the street without hearing someone talking about it. And you watched everything. You observed everything. And you noticed more than just the name change, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a total identity shift. I mean, it just reinvigorated the city. You know how much I love New Orleans, and yeah, I mean, I started looking into the structure of the rebrand, why they rebranded, what kind of people were running the organization from the top down. I did my research.
Exactly. Everyone else just saw a goofy name change. You watched the whole machine turn. Remember what I used to tell you at those games? You watch the things that people don't think to watch. You watch the people. You watch everything around you. Don't watch the pitcher. Watch the shortstop. He pushed off the railing. He walks over, lowering himself onto the old porch chair beside yours. You've been doing this your whole life, Zeb. You see patterns. You ask questions nobody else asks. Hell, half the time you notice things before people even realize there's something to notice. He gestures at the house. Your father thinks the bar is the family legacy. Maybe it is. But legacies don't always look the way people expect. Chasing the truth isn't about abandoning everything. It's the most Cold Springs thing you could possibly do. And besides, someone's got to notice when the signals change, otherwise the batter doesn't know when to swing, the pitcher doesn't know when to pitch.
Just like Jumbo Diaz.
He laughs, he reaches into his back pocket, and he pulls out a baseball hat. And on the baseball hat is that patch that you mentioned, the one he bought. He puts it on your head and smiles. Things change all the time, but mostly they're still the same, just with a new coat of paint. And he smiles at you. You guys keep talking for a little while. You begin to feel a lot better about the whole situation. It gets dark. Eventually the inside lights turn off and you realize that it's very late at night. Zane looks around. You gotta keep noticing. You gotta keep looking. You gotta keep being true to what you are trying to do. You can't do what other people tell you. You gotta do what's right for you, Zeb.
You got it, Uncle Zaid. And I'll be thinking of you, you know? I'll be thinking of you.
There's some things... never mind. I'll be thinking of you too, Zeb.
Can I roll insight?
Sure.
That's a nat 1. I got drunk off the root beer somehow.
you're wasted on root beer. You got a new baby cakes hat on your head.
Gee golly, guys, this root beer sure is hitting the spot.
You got a new baby cakes hat on your head. It's squeezing your head a little too tight.
Yeah.
Good luck in school, Zeb.
Zaid, you're talking to me like I'm never gonna see you again, man.
You'll see me. It's just different when you grow up. You begin to notice certain things that you didn't notice as a kid. And I'm just hoping that we get to stay the same. And he walks away, he leaves you on the porch, but you rolled a nat 1 inside, so you don't know shit. And we flash forward to a much less pleasant time. We are in the court of Twilight. Al, your father's body has been moved to be towards the reflecting pool. It sits on a funeral bier. The Glimmer Grove has never been so quiet. It was not silence of peace or silence of sleep. It was a hush of a forest that knew something impossible had occurred. The reflecting pool sits perfectly still, like polished silver beneath a sky that refuses to choose between dawn and dusk, and twilight lingers longer than it should in the pool itself. And at the far edge of the water rests the body of the sovereign of the Twilight Court, an archfey, dead. The air has grown strange in response. The wind moves in two directions at once. Shadows fall before their owners arrive. Somewhere deep in the trees, birds sing songs they have not yet learned. It's not often that an archfey passes from life. The Feywild itself seems uncertain how to behave, and so you stand, Al, in front of his body. Next to you, Namira stands. Across from you, your mother, Salenway, stands. You are the last three of the high family of Cianadel. You stand what feels like hours, and slowly, the courts arrive. But before we talk about the courts, where is everyone else standing?
Where were we left?
Well, we are not in the room where the act occurred. It has been moved to the reflecting pool. Would you be standing in close proximity to the grieving family, or would you be standing further off at a distance?
Probably a little way away.
Definitely further off.
Yeah, definitely giving them their space.
First to arrive is the Sealy Court. Their procession announces by the soft chiming of golden antlers and drifting petals that never quite touch the ground. Radiant nobles step lightly across the moss, clad in sunlit silks and armor that gleams like morning frost. Their queen does not smile, as she normally does. Even the joy of the Sealy knows when to lower its voice. Across the water, shadows thicken, and as the Unseelie emerge from between tree trunks that had not been there moments before, black velvet cloaks trail between figures with too many joints and eyes that reflect no light at all. And as they gather, the air grows much colder. Al, you feel the hairs raise on the back of your neck, and you realize the Queen of Air and Darkness has approached to stand near your father's body. She bows toward the bier, not mockingly, not kindly, but with respect. The bells of a fool's pointed hat echo through the grove before its owner appears. The trickster court arrives in fragments. A jester steps out of a puddle. A fox with 9 tails yawns and unfolds into a tall figure wearing bells. Masks appeared where faces should, and faces appeared where masks had been, and one of them stands at the edge of the reflecting pool, peers into the reflection. Anyone that's standing if anyone thinks they're standing close to the reflecting pool, you can make a perception check.
I got a nat 20.
Nice.
Onyx, you were standing and you hear the trickster court member murmur, "Still there." And someone next to him murmurs, "It would have been funny if it wasn't, though, wouldn't it?" Neither of them laugh. You don't quite know what they're talking about. Only you heard that. A glow from the first breath of morning warms the grove as the court of daybreak arrives, their cloaks shimmering in hues of pale rose and amber, and their presence pushed the twilight back just slightly, like a promise that light will return. They carry lanterns with the last light of yesterday's sun, and they placed one beside the bier. Al, you feel someone next to you take your hand.
Do I get a sense of daylight warmth from this hand?
Yes, you do.
Okay, so I'm not even gonna look, and I just acknowledge the presence. I know who it is.
Anyone you see a stunning and almost glowing figure in gowns made of pure sunlight stand in a very familiar way next to Al, leaning on his shoulder and holding his hand. Al, make a perception check.
Perception. Goodness. So, despite me having this wonderful tattoo, I think in the moment I would not even be attempting to get the help from my little buddy. And that is a natural 1.
Then you do not notice Lena staring at you with an unbroken gaze as you take a slight embrace from your betrothed.
Nope, I don't notice it at all. A lot of shit going on.
From deeper in the woods comes the lesser-known courts that venture from their lands far often. The court of the verdant green, crowned in vines and antlers of living wood, walks barefoot through the moss, roots briefly sprouting wherever they step. The court of falling leaves drifts in like autumn itself, robes of amber and crimson, whispering like dry branches. Their king, who stands at 8 feet tall, as broad as a boulder, with a big red bushy beard, trails behind a pattern of gold and rust-colored petals. A ripple of distant thunder and lightning heralds the Tempest Court, whose nobles wear cloaks of cloud and lightning that flicker beneath their skin. Where they would have the whites of their eyes, it is pure storm. Rain falls briefly while they bow their heads in respect, though the sky is clear. There is no rain, and it's completely magical. From the far edge of the reflecting pool, Onyx, you would see all of a sudden figures coming up through the water as the court of still waters pales, rising silently from the silver surface as though water itself has decided to attend the funeral. And finally, late, as they always are, the court of forgotten things arrives. They do not come from any one direction. One noble steps out from behind the tree that had stood empty moments before. Another simple just appears in the reflection of the pool and then steps out of it. No one could say how many of them there were. No one ever could. Soon the grove is full of ancient power, archfey, dukes of dreams, queens of storms, princes of thorns, all gathered in a quiet ring, all paying respect to Thelorin. The twilight deepens. No one speaks, because every being present understands something rare and unsettling. The Feywild does not easily lose one of its eldest powers, and if Thelorin of the Twilight Court can fall, then something has changed in the nature of their very existence. A breeze passes through the grove, the surface of the reflecting pool trembles, and for the briefest moment, the reflection of Thelorin next to the beer opens its eyes. The body does not, but the reflection does, before the reflection fades from sight. Al, what would you like to do in this moment?
So I see in the reflecting, like I see the reflection of him opening his eyes.
Yes.
I think for a moment I am a little shocked, and then I remember that this is the reflecting pool. This is, showing me things that I may want to be true at times, and I look at his body after looking at the reflection, and I take a deep breath, and I look over at my sister and I go, I think that's everyone that's coming. And I look at my mom and I go, do we get started? What do we do?
Normally I would sing him to the other side, but whoever that was that wore Reese's face ripped apart his soul, there's nothing to go to the other side. Thelorin has truly ended. There is no passing on to an eternal life for him. I don't know what to... My job is to share... And she collapses into your arms. She lost a son and a husband in the last day.
So I'm holding her, and I look at my sister, and I go, I can't say it's going to be okay. It's not okay. It's not. We have to do something for him. His soul, his spirit, whatever they did to it, we still have to honor him. And I'm going to slowly pass her off to my sister. And I go, I've got this, okay? I've got this. And I'm going to, I assume, my bride-to-be has let go of me with this happening, where I had to, embrace my mother.
Yeah.
And I'm going to sort of step away from my family and her and stand in front of the pyre, and I'm going to look at everyone who's arrived and just address them. And I'm going to just say, I guess you all have arrived for what should have been the start of, and I look over at my family and I go, should have been the start of a more happier occasion. Nevertheless, I thank you all for coming today. Some of you might have heard rumors of what has happened hours ago. Would that be right, Samson?
Yep.
Hours ago. And I'll be very happy to have a conversation with anyone who wants to know what has happened here. But for now, if we could all just take the time to pay our respects to the Lord of the Twilight Court. He has passed, and our usual ceremony is not going to be able to cover the needs of such a moment. So we are going to do something a little different to honor my father. And I'm going to look over at my soon-to-be wife, and I go, perhaps with the help of the Court of Daybreak, we might be able to usher my father into whatever comes next for him. And I'm sort of gonna kind of motion to him and the pyre, and have her and whoever else could come help me move him into a more ceremonial position with it. Because you said he was next to it, right?
He's on the funeral bier, which is like kind of a raised platform.
Okay, so I assume that we've got it set up, and I go, we usually say we have some prayers, we have some songs to help the spirit, but I think perhaps we need something different. And I'm going to look towards, I'm blanking on her name. I just keep calling her like my future wife. What is her name, Samson?
Aureliana.
I'm not going to remember that.
You would call her Liana.
I would look at Liana, and I go, perhaps there is something that Daybreak does to honor their...
She looks at you. In light, there is truly rebirth and completion. We return our dead to ash so that they may drift into sun motes and become the light of a new day. And in lieu of your father not being able to pass into the land of dreams, we would be honored to set his funeral rites to solidify the joining of our courts.
And I go, yeah, I think that sounds like that sounds good. Sorry. We can... I look at everyone and I go, the Court of Twilight is honored that the Court of Daybreak would bestow my father such a right, and with it, I hope it strengthens our future union, that we may share this moment of loss and grief and rebirth, I guess, maybe, together.
Yes. She takes your hand with hers. Then we shall set him to rest in the manner of daybreak. And for the first time in eons, the land of Twilight will have a rising sun. She holds your hand and looks to her sovereign, who nods approval, and she looks back at your father. May your spirit be one with the coming dawn, and may your light live on in each new sun of each new day. Thelorin of Twilight. She places a glowing hand in the center of his chest, and from outspurring from her fingertips and her palm, light refracts almost like veins across his body. And where the light passes, his body becomes motes of light itself. Until what is left is just a pure light refractory version of Florin's body. And as she releases her hand from the body, the light drifts upwards until it fills the sky. And for the first time in probably thousands and thousands of years, a true sun rises in the Court of Twilight. As Thelorin looks across his court one last time from the sky above. And just as quickly as it rose, the sun passes, for there can be no true daylight in the Court of Twilight. But in this moment that this is all happening, Della, you don't see this. For as you are watching the funeral rite, you feel a tap on your shoulder. You turn around. You don't need to make a perception check because he's not trying to hide. A tall, dark-skinned man in a suit with coattails, a skull tattooed across his jaw, the mouth of a skeleton, a walking stick with amethyst eyes, and a top hat. We need to talk, me and you, about what you've been doing with the dead.
You're muted. Alexis, you're muted. Just.
I know.
Della, before you stands Baron Merady, the Loa of Crossroads and Death. Lena has never looked so shocked in her entire life. Just the widest eyes, and her face has gone pale. And it occurs to you that Lena's never met a Loa before, because Lena only recently has the ability to see between planes. You and your sister have ended some of my charges' existences in this life and the next. What right do you think you have to take the spirit?
I think Della would look pretty shocked. Would Della be noticing like how Lena is reacting as well?
Yes.
Okay. I think Della would grab Lena's hand and just kind of reassure her, say, it's okay. This is normal for us. Just breathe. And
well, this is not the most normal. You haven't seen Baron Merady since he took your mother.
But I've seen things.
You've seen things, but you haven't seen Baron Merady since he took your mother's spirit when you stood next to her dead body.
But I would just be trying to console her, and sort of like saying it out loud for also my own benefit, to sort of calm myself as well. And I'd probably respond.
You're essentially seeing a god. A god has appeared to you.
And Della would probably say, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do anything that would upset you. We've just trying to do the right thing. Everything's just so all over the place, and we're just doing our best.
So you think your best is to destroy the spirit of the living? This is the best that you can do. You, the kin of Letitia Darkel, you who would one day be a protector of the people. You, your best is to take the eternal spirit and destroy it. This is what you are trying to tell me, you.
Which spirit exactly are you referring to?
There were multiples.
My domain is protection of every spirit. I herald them all. You and you, and he looks at Lena, have much to answer for. And I would know, how do you plan to make this right? Anyone who's not involved with this that's not Al, make a perception check.
Al's just, watching his dad go into space. It's fine.
22.
I got an 18. Oh. Yeah.
You're watching Lena and Della talk to nothing.
Even though I have my little bag?
That lets you see dead people.
Loa ain't dead. Loa is God.
Yeah,
Slow as God.
It's
you are.
Sixth Sense rules.
They are talking to gods, to a god.
Fine.
Man, Lena's having such a bad 24 to 48 hours right now.
Listen, I'm not noticing that your current wife engagement and Lena's name very similar.
That's what I was gonna say.
I
were all
only
gonna
came up
say
with
it.
one of those names.
I'm just saying, you got to type.
You are standing before Baron Morady, who's wondering what you can do to make this right, if anything.
I think Della would just be trying to plead her case. I know that what we did was probably not the right course of action, but in the moment we felt like we had no choice. Our lives were being threatened, and we were just trying to survive.
Be that as it may, even before that, you held on to a spirit long beyond the time that it should have been with the living. I told you a long time ago, spirits need to pass on. The longer they stay, the worse it gets for everyone.
I think Della, in that moment, she would just say, I can definitely see my mistake now. I know that I shouldn't have done it. I know it was wrong. It's not an excuse. I just felt so overcome with emotion in the moment, and I just wanted to keep him with me. He meant so much to me.
And how is that working out for you now?
If I'm honest, terribly.
You are beginning to understand, but I don't think you quite grasp everything yet. He reaches out and places a hand on your shoulder and places his other hand on Lena's shoulder, and you see a vision of your grandmother's body being piloted by JJ in La Mandaloa, surrounded by texts, surrounded by different ingredients and components. Nearby you see a sort of amalgamation of something that's not quite alive, but not quite dead, writhing in pain on the floor. And you realize that at some point it was probably human, but now it's long past when it could be considered that. He's testing the limits of life and death. He's searching for something that I don't think he's going to be able to achieve without going a lot further and doing much, much more damage.
How do we put a stop to that? I could tell for the last couple of years that his negativity had been growing and growing, and I think it's just going to continue to get worse.
Every day, his entire life was watching you live. Every night you go to sleep and he would be left alone, tethered to you, but unable to rest himself. They say that lack of sleep drives you insane. Imagine never sleeping, being alone with tortured and rotten thoughts for years. There's only so much you can think of. The question I think you're trying to ask is not, how do you stop? But I think the deeper question that you're afraid to ask is, how do you stop him without killing your grandmother? I don't know. He hands you... He holds up his hand, and you notice that his hand, the flesh from it fades, revealing skeletal bone. He takes off the top joint of his pointer finger and hands you the finger bone.
Nice.
That's nasty.
You come from... You are from a powerful and old family who has followed the ways of the people for a long time. And you, Onyx, you can now see the man that Della and Lena are talking to, and he is staring at you.
Damn, what did I do?
You are a part of it also.
Fair.
He hands Della the knuckle bone, the finger bone. Della, I need you to make...
Oh, he's killing you right now.
I'm not gonna... No one's dying. Della, I need you to make a Constitution save.
Told you. Nothing good ever comes from a con save.
15.
That's what you needed to get, so that's pretty good. As you take the finger bone between your forefinger and pointer, your thumb and pointer, the bone fades into your own hand.
Go!
And
she's got an extra finger. Ew.
No.
Oh,
It just replaces. It replaces the.
You got fingered by a god.
Knuckle. It replaces.
There's Katrina's next soundbite.
Not on my bingo card.
It replaces the knuckle joint of the pointer finger.
Does it look like a skeleton just at the knuckle joint, like on her hand now? You could say yes. That's fine.
Della, in this moment, you are going to level up to level 6.
Oh, hell yeah.
As a literal piece of one of the gods that you entreat with is placed inside as a part of your body.
Nice.
Yes. Say it. Say it. Somebody say it. Vigorous fingering.
Was that the one you wanted them to say?
I was just waiting for somebody to say something stupid. This is the perfect moment. God.
As this happens, you gain access to your level 6 sorcerer ability to channel Loa through your body. And the choice has kind of been made for you by Baron Morady. The first Loa that you channel through you is the spiritual connection of Baron Morady. And what that means is that he will walk with you and aid you moving forward, at least until you take your next level.
So I have advantage on everything, is what you're trying to tell me.
You got a little buddy too.
You get a little buddy, the little buddy Baron Morady.
Yep. Your finger bone, instead of it looking like an actual bone, is just a tattoo on the knuckle. You got a tattoo that's a little buddy. I got a tattoo that's a little buddy. I solved your lore problem, Samson. I just fixed it for you.
Del, just for ease of the game, would you go ahead and roll a d6 for me?
I shall.
Good, you should.
And you'll have advantage because of your little buddy.
No, this is not for that. This is your hit points.
I appreciate you looking out, though. 2.
Reroll that. Reroll 1s and 2s.
4. That's better.
Del, you now have 35 hit points. Woo!
Huzzah.
And you gain the ability to channel Loa. You gain Baron Samedi, the Loa of Death. You are immune to all disease and gain resistance to necrotic damage. So any necrotic damage that is cast on you, you will only take half damage. You may cast Animate Dead or Speak with Dead once per long rest without using a spell slot. And as a bonus action, once per long rest, or if you want to use it more than once per long rest, you can use 3 sorcery points. For 1 minute, any enemy that starts its turn within 10 feet of you must succeed a wisdom save or be frightened until the start of its next turn. As a visage of Baron Samedi is what they see. The frightened creature must use its movement and action to move as far away from you as it can, and the creature is frightened of you for the next 24 hours. If it succeeds, it's immune for 24 hours to the fear effect. But use a scary bitch.
We like it.
The Baron disappears from your vision, Della. You feel powerful. You feel intense. But he reappears in front of Onyx. This time, Della cannot see Baron Samedi.
Lena can see all of it, though, right? Like, she's just witnessing everything.
Or I believe it's Nyx right now still.
It is. This is going to be pleasant, I'm sure.
Baron Samedi looks at you.
What's up with your eyes, girl?
You, the two spirit. You have, or should I call, the fractured soul.
It's not very nice.
You need to take your place as well. But I think you need to know more before you can. And he touches your shoulder.
Oh god, I'm gonna get a fingering too, huh? Sorry,
There's
I
your next
can't
one.
help it.
That's also a soundbite now.
Yeah.
You know, I was biting my tongue between the, take your place and stuff like that. And I was just like, man, Nyx has read a lot of smut that started like this.
You have no idea.
You see a vision of a much younger version of your father than you knew him. Walking the streets of New Orleans, much further long ago than you realized would be possible. But time in the Feywilds doesn't necessarily work and function the same as time in the material plane. Your father could have been in the Feywilds for 5, 10, 15, 20 years and only aged a certain amount. Or he could have been there 50, 100, 150 years. You see him walking alongside a woman that resembles a much younger version of Della's grandmother.
They was fucking.
Oh, did they fuck? Ow, get out of my fucking head.
They were fucking. Oh, you guys are cousins or something. How does that work?
Or something.
Sam's just rewriting the backstory because you spoiled it.
No, that was not going to be what I said.
Now.
He walks beside her. You see them enter what looks like a graveyard. And they go to a crypt. Now, in New Orleans, graves are raised. They're not dug into the ground. They would be terrible with the amount of flooding and water that happens there. So it's not uncommon to have mausoleums and crypts for families. This is the crypt and mausoleum of the Dark Hell family. And you notice in the back of it is a cordoned off section with the same symbol as on your new sword. This sort of thorn-covered fleur-de-lis with the rose intertwining throughout. Letty. Wow. I said Della, then Lena, then Letty. Letty walks and pays respect to one of the burial places, and you see through the image that you're seeing before you that it's very clear this was Letty's mother. And your father goes to a burial area. And you realize this is a shared crypt. This is not just the Dark Hell mausoleum and crypt. This is your family's crypt as well on your father's side.
Because you guys are cousins.
And he stops and looks down, and he raises a hand to his lips and then presses the hand on the entombment. This was your father's first wife, the only woman he ever truly loved, that did not enchant him and force him. Your two families, you realize, have been intertwined for decades, for centuries. Your family made a vow to pay back everything they ever took in harming the Dark Hell family. New Orleans has a long history of servitude, as all the South does. And when things changed in the 1800s, some families chose to use that time to grow and rectify the wrongdoings. And your family was one of those. And they became protectors of the city. You could call them paladins of New Orleans. And the Baron pulls you back to the funeral and looks at you. You have a bigger purpose in all of this than I think even you realize now. Your city, your ancestral grounds are in danger from all sides. So I need to ask, are you willing and ready to step up into your family's legacy?
Yes, sir, Bone Man.
Excuse me, while I'm playing Baron Meridian, that's Bone Daddy.
Oh, you're right. Yes, sir, Bone Daddy.
All right, now Bone Daddy, give her the finger.
He looks at you, and he takes off a sort of bracelet that he wears that is made from the chains to tether mausoleums. It wraps not just around the wrist, but all the way up his forearm.
That's slutty. I like that. Sorry.
I think it's the first time Baron Moretti has been called slutty. And he gives it to you.
Nice.
God damn it. You can't say shit.
This is a funeral. Why is everyone so just fucking around? Come on. Let's take it seriously.
And
This is the horniest funeral I've ever seen.
I almost just said something else that I knew that Anthony was going to say something about. And I have to correct the way that I'm going to
say it.
I'm going to say it. And as you take it,
Nice.
God. Oh. All right. I'm done.
It forms in... you're going to say some shit about this too. Fuck.
Nice.
It forms into a whip in your hands.
Oh, that's extra kinky.
So you got this slutty little chain going up your arm, maybe wrapping around your neck a little, almost like a dog collar too. And it just extends into a whip.
Oh my god, start calling me Dommy Mommy Nix. Golly.
Onyx can't use this, only Nyx.
You take this whip in your hand and it forms into this sort of long chain whip.
Is Onyx secretly Ghost Rider?
And then Onyx's head turns into a skull that lights on fire.
You've unlocked the fourth personality.
And I will add your new nifty chain whip to your character sheet.
Yes.
But you don't level up right now.
Oh. That's fine. I didn't get fingered like Della, so it's fine.
Yeah, Della got really fingered. This chain whip, is it almost like the Soul Calibur like chain whip that also turns into a sword? Because that'd be pretty cool too.
No. Onyx already has a big sword.
But she could have two.
I have a big sword to match my big dick. Man, I'm so sorry.
And as you nope, not gonna say that. Can't say shit. Can't say anything. Motherfucker.
As you take it.
Yup.
Fucking Anthony.
Take it so good. This is supposed to be sad.
No, the sad part's happening up front. This is at the back.
I love how the music playing right now is just the saddest fucking guitar music. And then we're talking about just taking it with a chain whip.
Constant sex jokes.
I hope this all makes it in the final cut. Just taking it. As the chain whip passes from his hand to your hand, he disappears from your field of vision. And he makes one last visit while still in this plane.
It's to Chomp. Chomp gets a sword.
Zeb, you suddenly see a skeleton man.
Oh.
Zeb, don't shit yourself at my dad's funeral.
I believe I'd have to roll for that, and I'm choosing not to.
You see a skeleton.
You hear that?
Man.
He's choosing to fail.
Oh, you chose to fail the roll? You shit yourself?
Okay, fine, motherfuckers. Eat it. That's an 18 plus whatever the fuck it's supposed to be.
Man,
nature plus 3.
Zeb's got a little more intestinal fortitude ever since he lost his shadow.
He looks at you. You're missing a piece of your soul, you.
Do you know where it went?
I know the one who has it. But you don't belong anymore. I'm going to give you a choice. There's something wrong about you, and it will start to fester and go rotten. So I'm going to give you a choice. Will you come with me to the other side now to stop it from happening and pass on from this life? To save everyone else? Or are you going to choose to stay and be selfish?
Be selfish. What does this guy know? He's just a skeleton man that appeared in front of you. You have no context to who he is.
Yeah, Zeb has no idea who he is.
Fuck this guy. Show him a card trick.
Zeb says, I know. I can feel it. I know there's something going on. And honestly, part of me just wants it to stop. Part of me wants to take the offer, let everything come as it may. But I have choice in this. I have the ability to make a choice. I was told that by many people in my life. Some that I've known for a long time and some who I haven't known for a long time. And if there's something wrong, I'm going to figure it out. And I trust myself enough to make the right choices.
So be it. I'll be back for you when your time comes.
I'll see you then.
And he disappears from sight. And Al noticed none of this, because Al's dad floated into the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get a t-shirt that says, I met a god and all I got was this lousy t-shirt?
How about I met a god
Everybody
and all
else
I
got cool shit.
I met a god and all I got was fingered.
There's Samson's new one.
Aureliana takes your hand, Al. Salenway is quiet. Amira looks at the sky as the light fades. She turns to you. I guess it's time for the next part, right?
I kinda just nod.
Salenway stays silent, and Namira looks at her and sees that she's not really in the space to move things along. So Namira, being your older sister, being the firstborn, turns and addresses the high courts. With one ending, there is new beginning. We have seen one ruler pass, and another must take the new mantle. Al was chosen, Alar was chosen by the Warden of the Shaded Edge to follow the footsteps of the Temple of Quiet Stars. Is there anyone here that would object to the ascension of Alar Cienadel to this new high position? You hear silence. The Archfey of High Courts look across at you. All eyes, Al, are on you. And I need you to make a perception check as everyone stares at you.
As everyone stares at me, and I remember I've got this little buddy. So that is a dirty 20.
As you look back at everyone staring at you, you see... Well, you don't see it right away. You start feeling this sense that something is wrong. You look out across, something's not right. You're looking through faces, passing through face to face.
Is there a skeleton man fingering my friends?
No. You see under one of the masks that the Court of Tricksters wears. And this is only because you rolled a 20 or higher. You see the cloak and hair of the shadow severed that took your brother's life.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
And you begin to pay more attention. And you begin to see around the perimeter of the Glimmer Grove more shadows, or not say shadows, but sort of shadowy figures stepping out of the woods. You can act suddenly, or you can act subtly. But on a 20 perception, this is not just one happenstance person at a funeral that does not belong. This is an ambush.
My sister's right next to me, right?
Your sister's right next to you. You have moments before they realize that something is not right, because you should have said something by now.
So no one is objecting.
No one is objecting, but it occurs to you that this is the largest gathering of Archfey that has been in a century.
Shit. Samson, of this ascension, am I aware of anything that comes along with that? Like, you know, how I was instructed on shoring up the borders and having, you know, sway over who's welcome, who's not, all that type of stuff, right? Would I have any inclination that with my own ascension, I would have more sway over it, like my father would have if he was at full power and stuff like that?
Roll, you can do history or insight.
Is that with advantage? I forget how we played those. If it's insight, that is another dirty 20. Unless I can roll at advantage, which I could get a real 20, maybe.
I'm going to say with how quickly your mind is probably working, you probably don't have any sort of advantages right now, because you're trying, this is a split decision, trying to piece together things that are put in front of you, if that makes sense.
Yep, that's fine.
I'm going to do a real-time mechanic right now.
No, I can't think on my feet. That's what the dice are for.
I'm going to set a timer.
No.
An actual timer.
Nope. It's not happening.
I'm going to tell you what your 20 reveals.
Okay.
You have 5 minutes.
Okay.
On a 20, you realize that as weak as your father was, he was the last remaining barrier that prevented the majority of these outlanders, these outliers, these shadow severed who are severed from all courts, from entering the Glimmer Grove. There is currently no warden of the Shaded Edge. There is currently no protector of the Twilight Court. There is currently no one keeping the barriers up that stop those from getting in. And while you watch, your eyes move and you see the first of the shadowy figures take a step definitively into the Glimmer Grove.
So my sister's right next to me, and I'm seeing all this, and I go, "You need to speed it up. There cannot be a lapse. There's been a lapse already. We need to just do this."
You have 3 minutes. What? This is not something that just happens.
It needs to. Right now.
What's going on? What's happening?
There is no warden, and the border is being crossed.
She looks up.
And we are in a really shitty position. We are being surrounded right now, and there needs to be a warden. We need to get the barrier back up.
It's not. It takes. It's hours of meditation and ascension. It's not something that just instantly happens.
I'm gonna look out.
This.
I'm gonna look out at everyone, and I go, there has not been a time where the Twilight Court has had a moment like this where there's been a lapse in protection, and unfortunately at this time there is no protection in place to guard you from the people that have killed my father and look like they are about to kill the rest of us now. Normal means of me taking this oath are not okay. If it is all right with all of you, could you please either help me restore our barrier, or I'm going to need you all to fight with me right now, because the Shadow Severed are approaching. And I just kind of point at the lines that have been crossed.
A sort of murmur goes through the crowd. They turn around and they see that they are being surrounded. There's at least 50 of them. The entire grove is surrounded. Archfey, High Court officials, these are not warriors. These are people that sit around and play silly fairy games in their courts and rule with nonsense magic. These are not people who fight. You have 30 seconds. I need you to roll a persuasion check, and this is probably the most important roll you will make of this campaign.
And my little buddy. Now, Samson, you said persuasion?
What, if you want to use a different roll, what do you think you would use?
Oh, no, I don't think there is a different roll for me. What would a 15 get me? It's an 11 plus 4. 15, Samson.
A scream goes out through the crowd. Panic ensues. The Severed start charging at the clearing. Namira turns to you quickly. We have to fight. We have to fight.
Uh-huh. Call everyone. Everyone.
Okay. She runs towards the temple. This is not, this was a funeral. This was not an armed, heavily guarded occasion. This is a time for peace and reflection, which you realize made it the perfect moment when everything was weak and unprotected to try to take out as many court leaders as possible. Because you rolled so high on your insight and your perception, you will have a surprise round because they aren't aware that you really fully grasp everything that's happening just yet. What do you want to do in this round before we enter what will be probably one of the most intense combats of this campaign?
So, Samson, talking is free action, right?
Talking is free action.
So first I'm going to look at Liana, and I'm going to go, I need you and your father's people to help. Try to sway as many people as you guys can, but there's so many of them, and we need as much strength as we can to fend them off. This is not good. I'm not gonna lie about this. I'm gonna be as honest with you as I can. One of the people, one of the severed here, it's one of the leaders of their court, if that's what we want to call it. She's the one that killed my brother, and I can only assume was in part of getting my father killed. They are going to try to kill everyone here. We need people not to run. We need them to fight.
She looks at you, and she looks around, and she calls out, and you realize for the first time that you never quite grasped what Bearer of the First Light meant in the Daybreak Court, for that is her title. Court of Daybreak, stand and fight. And she lifts her hand up, and light shines into the sky, creating false daylight, piercing through. And her court comes to life and begins to charge into the oncoming, what can only be considered army.
Nope. So, Samson, that was one of my free actions, because talking is a free action, in my little surprise round. As that conversation wraps up, I poof out this lovely Maine Coon-sized moth from my chest, and I say something to him, and Samson, I have spoken with you on the side about my wishes for these symbols of my court, and assuming that these creatures are as much of their own being as tied to my family, I am instructing Silverslip to go find my father's companion, wherever it is at this moment in time, and to bring it here.
You watch Silverslip take off. Roll a d4. We want a lower number.
It's a 2.
It'll be 2 rounds before Silverslip returns.
Cool. Alright, so God, the last thing I think I can really do in this moment, I'm gonna try and do something here, and Samson, you tell me if this is too weird. So Liana is instructing her people and is casting this like daylight from her with this instruction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I stand next to her grab her hand, and in this moment of unification brought on by the sharing of funeral rites and stuff like that, can I cast my Twilight Sanctuary through her?
Oh. Yes. Roll a spell attack, which I know is not normally what you do with Twilight Sanctuary, but I'm just do it with advantage that Liana is giving you. If you get a 15, something happens. If you get a 20, something better happens. If you get a 25...
Oh, shit. I just lost a dice. 17 plus 6 is 23.
Not the 25. Okay. A solar eclipse forms in the sky. As twilight and daybreak both enact together. What were you trying to do with this? And then I will tell you what happens.
So I was firstly trying to use my sanctuary to give everyone that the daylight was hitting. So presumably everyone that isn't, attacking us, their temporary hit points. And then the thought is that the Twilight Sanctuary would then be extended through this whole area. So each round, so every time that their turn comes about, they could either replenish their hit points or end one of the effects. That is to say, also, the Twilight Sanctuary also affects my enemies in specific ways. We used it to end possession and shit like that. So if there's anything like that affecting the severed, I would force it to any effect like that to end on those people.
Okay. So that doesn't happen. The Twilight Sanctuary, I will say, extends to the entire Glimmer Grove because of what is happening. You rolled a 23, so you got above a 20. I was going to amplify one of the effects of your Twilight Sanctuary. Everyone, every round, will gain double the temp hit points that you roll.
Dope. So I just rolled my d6 plus 5 for a total of 10 temporary hit points, so everyone gets 20 temporary hit points.
And this is purely because Aureliana is amplifying your Twilight Sanctuary, and you are in part amplifying her dawn light that she is pushing through.
Samson, did we have long rests prior to the events of last game?
Nope.
Did we have a long rest prior to the events of this game?
Nope.
Great. Love it. You're fantastic. I
can't change the fact that you just haven't had one.
It's fine. It's great. It's wonderful. Hate you. I think that's my turn.
But I need everyone to roll initiative.
Ooh, actually, can I do this? Do I need to use it as an action to cast it? Spiritual weapon. With my bonus action, my spiritual mace is going to form as well. And that's my turn.
Well, I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh, fuck, where are my dice?
Yeah.
Speaking of not having a long rest, I've been sitting on this fucking needle, not literally, but this magic needle that I fucking traded my shadow for. And it would probably come really handy right now, but I haven't had a chance to fucking use it
You've
yet.
had a short rest. I can say that you narratively have used it if you want to have used it.
Oh, do we have a short rest?
No, it's
Do we
fine.
have a short rest between my dad dying and this funeral?
Yes.
Great. I'm going to go ahead and use like all of my hit dice.
Yeah, if anyone wants to roll any hit dice, or if anyone gets any stuff back on a short rest. Zeb, I'm serious. If you want to have used the needle, you don't have to have told me you use the needle. Just you could have done it during a short rest. That's fine.
Okay, well, you know, I'm going to take that advantage then.
Anyone get above a 20?
I got a 20.
Anyone 15 to 20?
I got a 16.
Wow, do we all roll terrible? Anyone 10 to 15?
11.
15 for Zeb.
5 to 10?
I got a 7. Can we redo it?
Ensemble, what did you get?
A 4. 3 plus 1.
I feel you, buddy.
It's rough. We out here in the trenches.
Please let us redo.
Al, once per round on your turn as an extra action, you can make a muster check, which is literally a persuasion check, to try to get more of the Fey courts to try to fight back instead of just panicking.
Okay.
But that is Chomp. You're first.
Oh. Good. I know what's going on. I've been here the whole time.
Who's fingering who?
Maybe a quick recap of who's all present and where they are.
Yeah, well, no, I know, like, people are talking about fighting, and there's bad people. Look.
You see Al at the front of all this, pointing at all of the Shadow Severed that are approaching and being caught off by the Court of Daybreak army. So I go, the ones without shadows.
What's up, babe? I knew he was gonna do that.
I'm actually.
I thought we were besties.
Let's fucking go! I'm gonna start off
by raging.
Nice.
You would.
I would.
What are you, some kind of barbarian?
Maybe.
Oh, we're doing the battle right now?
Oh, yeah.
Unless someone tells me not to.
Yeah, can we just not? Did we win?
Hey, Sam, are any of the bad guys within 30 feet of me?
I would say yes.
Okay, cool. So randomly, arcane energy taps into the minds of those around me, and each creature within 30 feet of me must succeed on a wisdom saving throw, or I see a glimpse of the creature's thoughts, learning how it plans to attack you. As a result, the creature has disadvantage on attack rolls against me until the start of my next turn.
You son of a bitch. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
That's a fail. What's the DC?
That's an excellent question.
It's a 30, Samson. You got to beat a 30.
It actually says it right here. Yeah.
I'm assuming the DC is higher than a 7, which is what the first roll was.
I mean, probably.
But that was you're doing like the whole like cluster rules, like it's
No,
you rolled once. That was for everyone, right?
They're sort of forming like I'm rolling for like 1 for every 5, so 5 of them failed.
So
That's an
how
at
would
20. So I think
that's a fail because it didn't beat a 30.
I mean, that's fair.
So I'll say this: 10 of them are affected, 5 of them fail.
Okay. So
10?
I mean,
This is a wild thing to have that I have to like tell you now. They are planning to specifically go for the leaders of the courts and rip their souls from their bodies and shred them to pieces.
right. So I'll turn to the group and say,
I don't know how I know this, but all the bad guys are gonna go after the leaders of the courts, whatever the fuck that is, and rip up their souls. Or something, I
Zeb
don't know.
turns to Ensemble and says,
I think his leg fell asleep again.
It sounds like it, man.
So maybe tell the leaders of the courts to fuck off or something.
Do you have an action that you want to take?
oh yeah, now I'm gonna run up to somebody and hit him.
Cool. Good plan.
Yeah. Where's my mouse? There it is.
That's
So-
in Samson's oven.
Got him.
You son of a bitch.
So I will run up to the nearest person without a shadow that is not Zeb and smack him for natural 20.
Nice. That guy's dead, right? That he just killed 5 of them, right? That's how this is working.
I don't even have to. So that is 1d12 plus. So 12, 15 plus 2 is 17 damage.
Nice.
Okay.
And then I'll smack him again for 15.
15 does not hit.
Well, fuck you. And that's bonus action, and movement. So
Yeah. That goes to Al.
All right, so I hear Chomp yell about how they want to attack the leaders of the courts, whatever the fuck that means. And I go, muster check.
Roll persuasion. And I'll say now that Chomp just told you that, you can roll this one with advantage.
Sick. First roll is an 18. Second roll is a natural 20 for a 24.
A natural 20?
For a 24, Samson.
Fuck. Okay. Roll a d12. It was going to be a d4. You rolled a natural 20. Roll a d12.
Are you my 12? I haven't used a 12 in forever. What's an 11 get me?
You broke him.
That bad, right? Damn.
"It's most intense
Sam's
combat."
buffering. Hold on.
What speech do you give the leaders of the Fey courts right now?
So I want to say that every so often at Cold Springs Cold Brews, Zeb would have like a movie night, and for some reason, he just really loved putting Braveheart on. So I am like word for word quoting the speech from Braveheart.
You're muted.
I can't hear you, Alexis. You're muted.
I'm sorry. I knew you were going to say Braveheart. I just freaking knew it. I had it in my head. I was like, he's going to say Braveheart.
Yes, of course.
And I'm so glad you did.
It's almost as if all of the leaders of the courts come out of a stupor and wake up.
And they have never heard this speech before,
No,
so
they've
they
never
are
heard this speech
enthralled by my command of the written or verbal word, I should say, and the power behind it. Like, man, this guy should be a leader. Am I right?
They have never heard this speech before. You give the speech perfectly, first off. Word for word.
That's the beauty of the Nat 20. I don't even have to remember it. It just happens.
The Queen of Air and Darkness was the closest to you and your family as she had come up to bow before Thelorin's body. And she looks at you, and it's almost as if she's noticing something for the first time. And she immediately turns, and she disappears from sight as you see a sort of whirlwind of black force wind fly through the air, piercing through the body of one of the Shadow Severed.
Nice.
And as it pierces through the chest, you see she reforms her body, and it is her fist pierced through the body.
Dope.
And you have convinced every member of the high courts, the high-ranking officials of the Feywilds to fight. And these are the most powerful Archfey in the Feywilds. And you just convinced them all with your fucking Nat 20.
Hell yeah. And I look over at the one that just got fisted in the chest. And in the chest, and I try to see if it's like Zeb's grandma or whatever the fuck this woman was, if it's that one that died yet.
No, it wasn't.
I'm like, okay, she's still around. So that's my muster check. So now for my actual turn, I have my spiritual mace active. So for my bonus action, I'm just gonna throw it at the closest severed. It could be like literally right next to the one that just got fisted. Whichever one's closest, I'm just throwing my spiritual weapon at it.
Okay. Roll to hit. And the leader of the Tempest Court is going to give you advantage.
Okay, cool. So first roll was a 21 to hit. So then the second roll is a 24 to hit.
Well, that hits. And you're going to add 4d6 lightning damage onto the roll.
All right, so that is 7 force damage, and how many d6?
4d6 of lightning damage. Because the Nat 20 is doing crazy things right now.
So that is 7 force damage and 12 lightning damage.
Your mace collides with the nearest Shadow Severed next to the Queen of Air and Darkness, and lightning, like sort of like a Thor's hammer moment, lightning sort of sparks off your mace as it collides.
Nice.
And sort of splinters out into a chain lightning effect, and also the 3 Shadow Severed surrounding that one get hit by the 12 lightning damage as well.
Dope. So then I still have my action.
You still have your action? What the fuck?
Yeah. And I am going to... I am going to use Toll the Dead, and I'm going to point at the one that I know is the one that killed my brother. And they have to make a DC 14 Wisdom save.
Well, they rolled a 6.
Was it a 6 total? Or
It's not going to be 14.
okay, cool. So then it's going to take 2d8 for a lovely 8 amount of necrotic damage as she hears the bells tolling in her ears as I'm pointing at her.
She sort of just looks back at you without seeming to even be affected by any sort of damage that you just did.
Motherfucker.
That's
my turn.
Okay, so you look at Zeb and somehow he got blue face paint and his face is painted blue because of Al's rousing speech. You also notice that the patch on his hat is kind of glowing a silvery light, and that's because just after eating the tater tot casserole, he decided to use the Whisper Stitch needle, which is the item, the wondrous item. So that grants me +2 to my AC. I get resistance to a damage type of my choice, which will be necrotic damage, and I get advantage on charisma saves. And I also rolled, and I did not get a 1 through a 3. So a Fey Moth, Sprite, or Mischievous Poltergeist does not slip into the world.
Nice.
Just FYI.
That's good to know.
All right. So now that that's out of the way, the first thing Zeb is going to do is hide. Because Zeb doesn't have a shadow, and he does not want to get caught in the crossfire.
Nice. Smart.
So I would like to hide as a bonus action.
Okay, roll stealth with...
How is an 18?
Okay. You
If we survive this, we should find a way to like minor illusion a shadow onto you.
I want you... Where do you hide?
I'd like to, I can't, I don't know where I am in the fray, but I'd like to move towards Al because I feel like Al is going to be my biggest asset in not dying. And then, I'm going to hide, maybe not behind him, but behind something.
I look over at the reflecting pool, and there's like a little bubble with like what looks like a bamboo reed sticking out, and just see the brim of a hat sticking out too.
Wait, Zeb, are you in the reflecting pool? Because that's going to change.
No, I'm not in the reflecting pool.
Zeb, you are hiding. I need you to make a perception check.
Been rolling a lot of 10s. 10 plus 5, 15.
Okay, do you have any other things you're doing this turn?
Can I prepare an action?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm hiding, but I've got my gun out, and if somebody's coming towards Al, they're gonna get a little sneak attack.
Nice.
From old Zeb.
Gotcha.
That's the gun's name, by the way.
That goes to Della.
Zeb.
Yoo-hoo. So Della.
Use your new finger.
How do I use my new finger?
What do you mean? What do you exactly you mean?
Well, like which spell is attached to it, or how does it work?
So right now, because you have this bone imbued in your body, you are channeling Baron Samedi through your body. So currently, you are immune to disease, and you have resistance from necrotic damage. So you only take half damage for any necrotic cast on you. And then you can choose to, as a bonus action, channel his being through you, and that would cause the fear effect, essentially. Coming off of you. You can also cast Animate Dead or Speak with the Dead once per long rest without using a spell slot.
Oh shit, there is a newly dead Shadow Severed that could be animated.
This is true.
Okay.
His chest has been fisted, though, so you have to be comfortable with that.
Okay, so Della... The first thing Della does is she uses her meta magic, the Quicken spell, which is I can expend 2 sorcery points to make basically one of my actions into a bonus action, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I activate that. And then I cast Spirit Guardians as a bonus action.
Sick as hell. Immediately sick as hell.
What does their guardians look like?
Spirit Guardians for Della looks like her eyes glow like a yellow goldish color. And then these like yellow goldish sort of spirits start to appear. They like fade into existence and they swirl around her whole body. And it's basically just all of her passed over ancestors.
I thought you were about to say all of her past exes. I'm like, how many have you fucking killed?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Della, the aura of the Spirit Guardians forms, and for a moment you have that overwhelming sense. You smell the clean laundry, you smell the Florida water, and standing next to you is the spirit of your mother in this incorporeal form. And she takes the point front and center with the Spirit Guardians coming off either side of her as your chief protector.
That's so sad.
So that was your bonus action. What's your action?
So my action is going to be to animate dead.
Yeah, you can.
Because why not?
It's not a spell slot because you're doing it. You can 100%. This is the one time you can cast 2 leveled spells in a turn.
Nice.
So you animate.
Okay, I do that.
You animate which dead?
What is the one that you said?
The one that got fisted in the chest.
The chest-fisted guy?
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
The Queen of Air and Darkness has her fist through this guy's chest as, he's slumping over. All of a sudden, he goes full zombie and then, gives her a thumbs up.
The creature that was the Shadow Severed animates and is now fully under your control for the next 24 hours.
Fantastic.
So on each of your turns, you can use a bonus action to mentally command this creature to do whatever you want.
I like this.
Do you take any movement?
Yes. I guess, where is everybody positioned around me? And, how far away are they?
You were currently in the middle of the thrall of... Well, let me roll. So you were sort of among the Fey courts at the funeral.
Okay.
Which is quickly becoming integrated with the Shadow Severed as they make their way into the Thrall. I think I know where you're going with what you're asking. And if you want to position yourself to be near the most Shadow Severed possible, all you would have to do is that. Yes, I know. I knew exactly where you were going. If you want to position yourself to be among the heaviest engrossment of Shadow Severed, you would have to move closer to Al because they're all heading pretty much towards where the high leaders of the courts were. So you can take your 30 feet of movement to move closer to Al if you want.
Yeah, so I take my full movement to do that. And if anybody is within 15 feet of me on the way, they're getting it.
Nice.
Well, I'm assuming you're designating all the Fey courts to be unaffected.
Yeah, anybody who's a friendly is unaffected.
A friendly. Gotcha. Okay, so then nothing happens on your turn. It happens when they enter their turn if they're in your aura. You watch, and this is something I've been excited for. It's a 15-foot sphere that forms around you. Your pointer finger glows white hot, and that sphere increases to 30 feet.
Nice.
Sweet.
That moves to Nyx.
Yay. How many Shadowed Severed are there?
At least 50.
God damn. Okay. I guess I'll just go whichever one is closest to me. Also, can you add my chain whip into my thing? It's not there.
I can't add it right this second, but you can use it, and I will tell you how to use it in the game. It has a range of 20 feet, if that helps.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit. Does a 21 hit?
It does.
Okay, so I'm going to hit whatever is closest to me. 9. So whoever is closest to me is going to take 9 slashing damage, 1 radiant damage, and can you also make a Constitution saving throw for me?
Rolled a 3 on the die. That's going to fail whatever it was.
Okay, so they're blinded until the end of its turn.
Okay.
And then none of these are considered undead and constructions, are they?
No.
Okay, just double checking. And then I want to use my whip.
So you're going to roll to hit, and what is your strength modifier?
A +3.
This whip has the +1 category on it as well. So you're going to add +7 to hit.
So 21 again. And how do I do the damage for that?
The damage is going to be 2d8 plus 2d8. So it's 2d8 slashing damage plus 2d8 thunder damage as the whip cracks.
Okay, so that's a 5 for slashing, and then 8 for thunder.
And then add your strength modifier.
14?
14. So you dealt 14 damage.
5 plus 8 is 13.
13.
But
13 plus 3.
So
There you go.
It's
16.
Math is fun, guys. Go to school.
You deal 16 points of damage combined.
Okay.
That is one cool whip.
Cool whip.
And now,
Have
have you used a bonus action?
I was about to, unless he's dead.
He's not dead, but your whip has a bonus action.
What's the bonus action? Tell me.
When the whip is used, it wraps around whatever it hits.
Kinky.
Can I wrap around somebody's dick? Sorry. God, I'm having a problem today.
Whoa!
I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
Katrina, I'm going to need you to boost the server so that way we can just get all of these sound bites in.
Make an athletics check. You're going to make an opposed athletics check.
A 19.
What you can choose to do now that they are bound in your whip is recall your whip to yourself.
Oh, you
With
can
them-
scorpion them.
Where you're basically going to pull them into a grapple.
Okay.
Then you will have advantage on attacks on this Shadow Severed on your next turn.
Okay. And before I go, whichever Shadow Severed that Al had originally hit that killed his brother, I'm just going to attach a seal to him.
Okay.
And I'm done.
Then that goes to Ensemble. Everyone's turns are getting so much more interesting. That goes to Ensemble.
Ensemble's gonna make his way over to Al, and he's gonna put his hand on his shoulder. He's not gonna say anything. They're not gonna say anything. I'm sorry. But they're gonna cast protection from good and evil on you.
Nice.
And then I think I'm just gonna do a little toot and give Chomp a bardic inspiration, and that will be my turn.
Little toot.
So Ensemble toots, and I look at Leanna and I go, that wasn't me.
What's your? Is it a 6? Is it an 8?
Oh, good question. Let me look.
I think it's just a 6.
Where do I find that? Let's see. It's probably a 6. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Lena's going to go because Lena rolled a nat 1 on initiative.
Look at Lena
Aw.
actually doing stuff in the Feywilds. She's had a good 2 episodes.
For real.
She's distracted by staring bloody murder at Al and his fiance holding hands.
And I don't notice it.
Lena calls out to you, Al.
Oh, God.
Girl. Come on now, girl.
Fiance, this is girlfriend. Girlfriend, this is fiance.
She doesn't say anything bad. She's just...
She repeats the Braveheart speech word for word.
I've seen that movie
She's
too.
Al, which one?
together.
Which one's the one that killed Fandar?
And you see my spiritual mace, like, on its way to hit that one, and I go, that one.
Lena is going to bonus action Step of the Wind to get there. Oh my god, natural 20.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm going to roll all her attacks. That's a natural 20 and a 23. For the bonus action, for the backhand, the second attack, 2 attacks. Sorry, not second backhand, second attack.
She's got to show off in front of the competition. No?
She starts unloading radiant damage infused punches into that Severed.
Just haymakers into their face.
And deals. That's an 8 and a 7.
Nice.
She deals
1,000,000.
no 21 points of radiant damage, which Toll the Dead seemed to do nothing to that Severed.
Mm-hmm.
You watch as she gets assaulted by these radiant damage infused strikes and looks like the wind was taken out of her.
Nice.
The other Severed react seeing this and she calls out, "Keep to the plan." They're going to take some attacks. Oh, it's their turn. Holy shit. Oh, they have to roll wisdom saves because Della's got 30 fucking feet of spirit guardians. Well, that's a 2.
It's a lot of dead family members.
That's a 6. That's a 4. That's a 5.
Oh shit! Is Onyx's dad there?
You know what? Yes.
My father is a man of God, and he was not invited to the fingering party, all right?
Della, I need you to roll. Now, normally, Spirit Guardians deals 3d8 radiant damage.
Yes.
I need you to roll 6d8 damage, as Radiant deals double damage to Shadow Severed.
Man, I feel like this intense sunlight coming from my fiancé's power should be doing something to these people.
39.
You just roll 39 points of damage. God damn.
Yes.
They all die.
They
all disintegrate.
Real hurt.
They all disintegrate as
They all
Dela
get
casts
real hurt.
disintegrate from her dead family.
Your ancestors start going to work on just kicking the shit out of Shadow Severed. Just spiritual swords and blades in their hands, some with staffs, some using magic, and your mother specifically walks up to one of the closest ones to you. Your mother was not somebody who fought a lot, but something that she did use quite frequently was a wooden paddle.
Oh,
like a wooden
hell
spoon. The wooden
Nice.
spoon.
Ooh.
And she just starts beating the shit out of Shadow Severed with a wooden spoon. And everyone knows the wooden spoon.
That's actually giving me flashbacks right now. That's terrible.
I feel like I can't sit right now.
That shit hurts.
Man, 39 points of radiant damage. Well, one of them rolls an 18 to hit Della. A miss on Al. I'm going to also roll some stuff. I'm not going to talk about what's happening because
I don't want to know,
When you
because
do
if you don't say it out loud, it's not happening.
well, they're attacking other Fae, and I'm just keeping track of who's dealing with stuff and who's not dealing with stuff.
So, Samson, if Nyx were to look out into this field of ghost ancestors, would Dela's mom spark any like memories from like a little tomb that her father was visiting? I knew
Stop thinking about that so hard.
I knew it.
Yeah, your pause is concerning.
Samson, stop.
That's not something that I had ever planned, and I'm not going to change my plans now to make Della and Nyx half-sisters.
But that'd be so cool. You should do that.
No. Well,
Well, we're already
Della,
cousins, right?
yeah, no shit. Well,
You're not cousins. Della, you take...
Anti-sister
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Brother, sister,
Della,
wife.
you take 13 points of necrotic damage. Oh, shit, you have resistance.
I can't do that.
You do take some damage. You just don't take
Was
13
it like
points.
half, right?
You take half damage. So you take 7 points of necrotic damage.
All right.
And don't forget about your 20 hit points.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
and
I
you
have
have-
that down.
20 temporary hit points.
Sweet.
It goes to the top of the lineup, and that is going to go to the lair action of the eclipse that is happening.
Hell yeah.
That deals all of the severed.
I
You know,
knew
Al,
it.
you can
did
roll
it.
yes. You can roll this. Go ahead and roll 2d8 radiant damage.
That's 8 radiant.
They all take that.
Nice.
The severed that killed your brother stands up from the blows that she took from Lena and looks at everything and realizes this is not going the way that she thought it would.
No, it isn't.
Now, you guys are making it really fucking difficult for it to happen.
We have to go at least one more round for Silver Slip to come back, so they can't run away yet.
Oh, also, Joe, character tried to hit Al, so you can take your.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. So can I shoot him?
Yes.
Probably not with an 8 + 5 though. A 13.
No. You have advantage because you're hiding though.
Oh, okay, cool. How about an 11 + 5, a 16?
16 hits. That hits exactly.
Hooray. So with sneak attack, that's 22 damage.
You take a bullet shot, a gunshot at the Shadow Severin, and they don't know what guns are, so they just think they got hit by magic.
Boo.
She is looking around and realizing things are not going how she thought it would. It has been quite an eventful first turn of combat. Wow.
It's okay. Take your
Al,
time.
do you say anything in this moment? Because it is.
In this moment, when I see that everyone is fighting against these people are actually looking a little shocked and maybe not scared, but definitely some of them have the looks on their faces like this is not what was supposed to happen. I think I would just say, let none of them leave here, because they surely would not be letting us leave. And just kind of encouraging to keep fighting.
She's gonna make a check.
I can't be bribed, Samson.
She looks at you, hears what you said, looks at everyone, looks up at the eclipsed sun that is shining out, causing them damage, looks at the spirit guardians coming off of Della's aura, looks at Lena's glowing fists,
Looks at Zeb's smoking gun barrel.
She says, "Enough. Fall back." And the severed looks stunned. This is not a group that runs from a fight. This is not everything you've ever heard. This is not going how they expected it to go. They choose in this moment to turn back. And you had said, let none of them leave here.
Mm-hmm.
As they start to flee, the high courts start pursuing them into the forests.
Oh no. And I'm just like, wait,
So-
nope.
Sam, I was in combat with one. Does that one start fleeing?
Yes.
And what about
I
all
have
the
one
ones that
idea.
have to run through this? What about the ones that are running
Yeah.
through the spirit guardians?
Oh, they're all. God, roll more damage. More damage.
That one specifically, I'm using the sentinel feet on. Oh, never mind. I rolled a nat one. I was gonna keep him for questioning, but I can't hit shit right now.
Well, Nyx did bring up there is one that can't flee right now.
Oh
I
yeah,
haven't-
cool.
I was gonna behead him if we didn't want to talk to him. I guess
She has
That's
him by
fine.
the dick and was gonna behead him by
It's
the
cool.
dick.
You could behead him. Della can just
Well,
cast,
which head are you
Speak to
beheading
Dead.
if you have him by the dick?
I'm doing both heads and I'm putting them on sticks and they're going in front.
It's a Feywild circumcision.
This was going to be a brutal combat that you guys pulled out. Like, it's almost like you read the rules or something.
Oh no, we're good at games.
What's that? There's flapping of wings in the distance, right, Samson?
They run into the forest. The high courts pursue them. You have one that is chained, wrapped in chains right now. I fully expected this combat to go into next episode. It is not going to, because you guys have won this day. Partially because Al perceived the problem before it even happened. This was going to be like a red wedding situation.
It's fucked up, Samson. Oh, I'm not going to kill any more of Al's family.
I wasn't going to kill Al's family. I was going to kill every other leader of the Fey Courts. As they flee and the courts pursue, the Queen of Air and Darkness comes up to Al. 100 years ago, you told me that you would owe me a favor.
I did.
I do not come to this decision lightly, but I believe after the way that things have gone today, after what you have done, that I owe you a favor. So you can count your debt as paid. And she turns into a swirling mist vortex and flies through into the forest. And you hear the screams of a shadow severed coming from the woods.
Gross.
Silver Slip returns with Thelorin's moth.
What does Thelorin's moth look like?
I mean, it looks very similar to Silver Slip. What do you want to do in this moment that your father's companion that has been with him his entire life and familiar approaches?
So this companion, this familiar, is ancient. It is as old as my dad was. I can't remember if we had sort of done a these things come into existence with us, or if like they are bound to us and might have existed prior to that. But
they don't come into existence with you, but they are Fey spirits that become sort of bonded to you.
So as it's approaching with Silver Slip, I sort of give it a bow of acknowledgement, and I'm gonna say to it, and I go, I'm sorry that I called you here during your time of grief. We needed your help, but it seemed like we got things under control. But since you're here, I could perhaps use your wisdom. And I am going to try and see if there's a way to utilize this spirit's connection to my father to sort of streamline my own ascension.
Roll Arcana with advantage.
Oh, good. Because without the advantage, it's just a +0. So that was a 19 on the first one. So 19 flat. And an 8 So I'll take the 19, Samson.
As you ask this question of this ancient Luna moth, it forms into your tattoo. And then Silver Slip follows. And in this moment, the eclipse ends, and you fully inherit the title of Warden of the Shaded Edge and Protector of the Twilight Court.
Dope. Hell yeah.
And you...
Does this motherfucker have 2 advantage moths now?
No.
One's an advantage moth, and the other is a disadvantage on everyone else's moth.
No. This moth basically gave the last of its life to grant you the ability to ascend to the position of the warden without everything else involved.
Dope.
And in this way, a piece of your father will live on in your body. And before next session, you will level up to level 6.
Hell yeah.
And that's where this episode will end.
Wait, can I do something before the episode ends?
Go do something. Wait.
Thank you.
Epilogue.
Goldfish.
Nope, too late. It
Post-credit
ended.
scene.
What?
Nope,
No, wait, wait.
See
Hold on,
you next week, guys. Bye.
Thank you for listening. We've been Saving Throw Society, and our cast includes...
My name is Katrina Kenny. My pronouns are she and her, and I am playing Onyx and Nyx.
My name is Joe Gailey, he, him, and I play Zebulon Cold Springs.
Hey everyone, it's Alexis. I play Della Darkel. My pronouns are she, her.
My name is Anthony Corletto. My pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Al.
I'm Rowan Moss. They, them. I play Ensemble.
Hi, my name's Eric Trulick. He, him.
And lastly, I've been Samson Flansbaugh. My pronouns are he, him, and I play the world and everything else inside of it. Make sure you follow the social media page of your choice that can be found in the link in the description. And for those of you wanting some extra content and bonus episodes, make sure you join the society and become a subscriber for our Patreon. Thank you for adventuring with us, and remember, sometimes all that stands between you and the end is one successful saving throw.
Crazy behavior, first of all.
What do you want to do?
I put a seal on that fucking asshole, and I just want to singe his ass real quick. That's all I want to do.
Something completely different. Okay, sure.
No. I just want to singe his ass real quick.
Well, you put
You
first of all,
singe
you
his
put a
asshole.
seal. You put a seal. Do you remember which one you put the seal on? Because that wasn't
The one that killed my
him.
brother.
The one that killed his brother.
Yes.
I said that out loud in English. Don't even try me, buddy.
Kissed from
I'm going to grant something.
Can I use it as a tracker?
Yes.
Just put me in the credits, I dare you.
You have attached a seal to the severed that killed Feindar and who orchestrated the death of Thelorin. And I will let you use that as a homing beacon.
I'm gonna home the fuck out of this person. Cool beans.